Hello viewers, welcome to a special journey filled with prehistoric epics. Today, we will follow an extraordinary story. Small hominids, our ancient ancestors, faced, survived and even saved a prehistoric giant in an era of fire, ice and danger.
I am now your protector. Rejoice, for you are safe.
The giant escaped the volcanic disaster exhausted, hungry and wounded. The small hominid and the mammoth joined forces to drag him to safety. But the cruel fate was not over yet. A rock trap collapsed, trapping the giant. Once again, his survival depended on the compassion and courage of the small creatures. The giant was trapped in a stone trap, his body heavy and immobile. The small hominid could not free himself, so he called upon the mammoth's strength. Rudimentary ropes were tied tightly around the giant's body. The mammoth gnashed its teeth, strained, and pulled bit by bit. The rocks shook, and dust flew up. The giant roared in pain, but it was also the echo of life. Finally, thanks to the combined strength of all species, he rose, escaping his imprisonment. For the first time, the giant and the hominid, along with the mammoth, became allies in the harsh battle for survival of prehistory. The giant fell again. Its huge body sprawled across the steppe. Tiny hominids, like tiny dots, climbed onto its chest, onto its hands, trying to wake the sleeping god between heaven and earth. They stood before the hands as big as a hill, before the great face covered with dust. The difference was engraved in every gaze, the small facing the giant. Some were afraid, some were curious, but all realized, if they did not act, the giant would disappear forever. They moved closer, put their hands on the wound, listened to each heavy breath, and from that moment, a new bond began to form. The giant was once again swallowed by the harsh mountain rocks. The small hominids refused to give up. They wrapped ropes around the giant's legs, using all their strength to drag each step. A painful roar echoed throughout the valley. Ash flew, but that roar was a sign of survival. Each rock shattered. The giant's body gradually escaped the shackles of nature. When he stood up, his body was torn, blood mixed with dust. The hominids could only look up, both afraid and awed. In that moment, the giant image was no longer an alien creature, but a symbol of survival and the power that unites all species. The giant wandered to the foot of the erupting volcano, where the rocks were red as hellfire. He trembled, trying to hold on to his life with the little remaining rudimentary food. But the ash, lava, and unhealed wounds caused him to collapse. Sliding down the burning slope, the small hominid appeared once more. No longer afraid, they wrapped ropes around the giant body, pulling and holding on with all their might, despite the shaking ground and falling rocks. The giant lay motionless, exhausted from the ordeal. Once again, the small hominids did not abandon him. They wrapped ropes around his giant legs, dragging him across the green pastures, bringing him to safety. Then began the journey of healing. In the deep forest, they searched for leaves, roots, and ancient herbs. With trembling hands they picked up branches, crushed them on stone slabs, and mixed them with spring water, the only medicine they knew. With no weapons, no strength, only courage and patience, these hominids turned nature into medicine, determined to keep the giant alive. After much pain, the giant rose and knelt before the small creatures who had saved him. His eyes shone with gratitude, while the hominids bowed their heads, both fearful and awed. In that moment, strength and weakness became one, opening up a bond never before seen. The giant continued walking, and the hominids followed, learning every gesture, every step. They lit fires, roasted meat, dug the ground to plant trees, discovering for the first time the secret of long-term survival. It was from here that these small actions sowed the seeds of a great future for mankind.